My name is Gloria. I'm the face behind Alchemy. You're watching this new vlog series called Who's That Girl? So who's that girl? Me? I'm a blogger. I'm a divine mystic, which means I write, I make videos, I record podcasts exploring love, life, our soul's magic, human potential, human experience in this mortal world and the worlds beyond. And also about the great mystery, which means the great divine. And it's basically, our spiritual being having a human experience. And how can we live to our best potential? I share a lot about that. And it's in terms as well, I consider a platform like mine earlier as Alchemy, which is a Facebook page, as well my personal one, gloria.tildan. Through all these kind of social media platform, when I write about all this, is in aim to explore together. Because I believe that in our divine truth, which that means anything how we see the world, or how it operates, whether it's from a spiritual eye or from a religious angle or even a scientific whatever, we all hold our own divine truth. There's no right or wrong, because after all, we are all have our own path, and our soul's evolution at whichever stage we will need to learn about certain things. But the whole idea of us incarnating on earth is to explore. We're here as explorers. How do we navigate around the life on earth in the best possible manner with our abilities and our consciousness, while coexisting together in harmony. So we are very good at exploring about in our human experience as to how to live to the best that we can in abundance, in all sorts of goodness and success. What we haven't done so good, and we are definitely far behind, is about coexisting together. In the nature world, in the natural world, in Mother Nature and all this, you see, and the different organisms, the plants, the animals, despite their diversity, they all can coexist. For us, we have the intelligence, the consciousness and everything. We have the drive, we have the ability to feel and experience, but we get distracted along the way. And we just, the strive for excellence, the benchmark, the barometer of it, I think we need to, from time to time, we need to adjust a bit, give it a little bit of re-examination. Doesn't work anymore. And if we still have people that are left behind, we still have people they're still hungry, still homeless, still in war. We are nowhere near them, And it is true, each of us, how we can improve ourselves, to become a decent human being, and that will change the world, that will heal the world. That is what I often write about as well. It's about the man in the mirror. Same title as that Michael Jackson song, like Man in the Mirror, which is if you have the time, please go and listen to the song again. If you don't like to listen to his voice, go and read the lyrics. It's it's definitely an evolved being's point of view. If we all start with ourselves, just imagine 8 billion people, right? Each of us, or at least even half of us, we live as decent human beings. How the world can change to become a better world. So we are far behind, but everything as it is, we can always continue on. Nothing is too late. Of course, we can do it earlier if it's better, but we can't change the past. So what do? We change the present in order to go for a better tomorrow. That's the basic idea, the common sense. Of course, we get distracted along the way, and that's only normal. So maybe I can begin by just sharing, since I talk a little bit about the content of what I normally explore about. The starting of my earlier Alchemy page is of great importance and great significance, because it's not just starting because I want to start a blog. It has a whole lot of history behind it. Those of you who don't know me, I am a widow. I lost my husband to cancer in the year 2020. And in the decade that was leading up, my world already started kind of falling apart. A lot of it is through external influences. In terms of how policy changes and everything, I was a business owner then. I own a movie company. I opened my own movie company. Of course, after gathering decades of experiences in entertainment, film, movie, and everything. But the point was that a lot of it I was in terms of coping with the matrix world demand, because it keeps changing in the place that I live, and I was already having difficulty coping with that, and along with other matrix world demand, like housing bubble and everything. So the material side was struggling, and then eventually crescendo, the discovery of my husband having cancer. By then it was already stage 4, and when he was gone, I basically live in a muted world, because we talk all the time. He's my favorite person. Despite we are vastly different in age, race, culture, background, we enjoy each other's company a lot, because we are both curious with everything under the sun and beyond. So we constantly talk all the time, and then we are equally open-minded and everything. So when your best friend is gone, I remember the next day when I wake up in bed, it was just silence. Muted world, meaning I don't talk. Of course, you go to the shops, and all this, you do have to do all this talk. They are functional, right? You need to do certain function, you need to do certain transaction, you talk, and that's it, right? But other than that, I just I went quiet. Grief makes you do that, but on top of it, because my bond with my late husband is even worse. It makes me go even more inwards. And then weeks later, in the initial few couple of weeks, I was able to consult, or rather, chit chat with my late husband, a couple of close friends and his family. They were all overseas anyway, and they lend me support. But people have their own life. So after a few weeks, the departure, this has slowly just drift apart. You get it. You get it. Like when people kind of like just make themselves not available, you kind of get the idea. You thought, okay, I've troubled them enough. No doubt when I talk, I always try to put the other person first. I never try to, I didn't cry. I mean, there are times, yeah, I may get a bit emotional, but I never, And so while people have that life, I can't. I have to stand on my own at some point. Right? In my world, in the lead up, as I say, people that you think that you can trust already start falling away. Or in the context, I can tell you, I have everything stripped away from me. Everything that I know of, people, basic needs and everything, been stripped away from me. So when my husband crossed over, the last bit of the world I co-created with him vanished. But the last bit of anything that I held on to, the crumbling bits. The matrix were very unforgiving, and I was stretched. I was struggling. I didn't have the energy or the ability to try to stay on top of things and try to deal with it. I just couldn't. So at that point in time, I didn't know what I was doing. But on looking back, when I knew that I only have energy to do one thing and everything else I let it fall away, I didn't hold on to it. I just let go of it. And I realized that I was basically saving my soul. That I only have energy for one thing, and the only one thing that I chose was saving my soul. My soul was dying. It was just all too much. It was, you can say the whole thing could be a form of trauma. So with everything living eventually after the so-called my late husband friends and family, I could no longer on a regular basis talk to them. So in that muted world that I exist in, weeks later, I got the first sign of contact from an angelic being. I never thought that, to be honest, I never thought they existed. I knew of different kind of divine beings. I never believed in angelic beings. How wrong was I? In today's world, I will work with divine of all faiths. That means regardless whatever faith, whatever religious background, whatever they're affiliated with, as long as they're divine, I work with them. So I come to know, because of the crossing over my husband and everything, and get in touch divinely, which means my spiritual gift is opening up and everything. I was ready to go on the spiritual path. Not that I chose, I was put on the path. How the world was traditionally presented is so different from what is happening for real. The world we live in is very magical, and that's the more that I hope to share, and just exchange of ideas. It's not to push a certain kind of concept or anything, because every of us experience differently. So it's no different from you watch a very good movie, you want to recommend to a friend, right? That's it. That's what I'm doing. A different point of view, sharing a different side of it. So when I first come in contact with one angelic being, I was trying to get my attention, and I knew that it was not my voice. And I knew that it is harmless as well. So I thought, this is something strange. But I'm skeptical, so I did various divination methods. And from those with religious background kind of divination method to even randomly, you can say online pick a card, whatever it is. Basically I did more than about a dozen just to get confirmation. Every single thing came back, yes. So I knew I could communicate. From there on, I tried to establish some sort of flow to understand, because you have to tune in. Then you have to tune into the language, the style. Over time we fine tune it, and today we speak very fluently together. Just exchange very normally. So there is a process in terms of the way that I come into my gift, and whatever I write or share, that is anything that in those forms that is so-called divine or channel, and I have to get confirmation. Number one, I think it's a form of being responsible. I'm not going to just read somebody's stuff and I'm just going to parrot it. For me personally, I have to walk the path. If not, then I have to research and find out, and then I have to go and seek confirmation. Yeah, so there's a process a bit slower, and I don't suddenly feel like it, then I go to record and I put it on. I don't. So trust that whatever you watch, or you hear, or you read, there's a process. I'm quite happy to share in a different episode. So anyway, having first of angelic being, and then slowly different beings come in, and my team, I call them my team of light. They were very, very accommodating, very nurturing. They know I was going through a lot, so they didn't pressurize me in terms of having to learn what. They go with my flow. Of course, occasionally they will just push a little thing here and there to say read this or learn about this, but it was compared to what I am on right now. Today, it's a different thing. Today we have meetings every day, on what I have to learn in terms of skill or abilities or the collective. It's so different. Today is a full-fledged, full-on job. Back then I was still going through healing, but because I was so in this muted world for too long, I do occasional chat with people online, on social media like Facebook and all this, but it was text. I haven't opened my mouth, let's put it this way. So it comes to a point my team of light wanted me to set up a blog to share what I've come to learn, which is I come to learn that there's a lot of broken-hearted people in the world, and it saddens me. It saddens me because my late husband and I enjoyed 21 years of a good relationship. Not perfect, obviously, nothing's perfect, but it was healthy. And to see, to understand, to catch up the current state of affair, or what's happening, it saddens me a lot. So it's something that I ideally would love people to understand. 8 billion people in the world, and you found each other. The odds of it. You know, why play mind games? There seems to be a lot of people play mind games these days, and that's the more that I wanted to share what healthy relationship is. Because I think a lot of people, because lack of experience, they didn't know that it can happen. There's such a thing called healthy relationship. You know, and there seems to be more people like to share about singlehood than those people who like they share about their happy marriage, and they seem to be being sneered at. Why? Because I think a lot of people do not have the exposure with the right people around them that have happy relationship or happy marriages. So that with the lack of exposure, naturally they're going to not understand it, naturally they're going to not approach it the right way. So I thought that, okay, with my team of light wanted me to start the Facebook page with a focus. Definitely love is one of the focuses. I'm quite happy to do that. But yet I'm still not ready. So I sat on it for about 6 months before eventually I got the ball rolling and started. And best decision ever. I have people that write to me and talk about how my content can help them, and it was never what I ideally love. You know, that anything that I write is helpful to people. When you read the comments for the first time, each of those, I'm still in disbelief. But I'm grateful and I'm blessed, and I felt honored. So through various people who always been asking what I do and everything, so I thought this series, Who's That Girl, I can share a bit more, you know, and hopefully us spiritual beings having human experience, we all can learn from each other, because we're all explorers here, we're all teachers and students. So in the next episode, I hope to share about this process that I talk about, so that you know that whatever you read, you know, and anything, there's a process in terms of how I gather confirmation, and you yourself can apply it when you read about anything that's spiritual. How do you know what is right, what is wrong in your context, you know, how you feel about it, and how do you communicate in spirit to the spirits and all this. Some of you have a lack of information out there, so I thought this might be a good one. So till next episode. So thank you for watching Who's That Girl, and thank you for listening to me, and I hope you join me next time. Bye for now.